All right, here we go. Paying some bills this morning. See how that treats us. Oh, what was that I just runned over? Whatever it was, sounded kind of intense. I'm gonna go investigate that. I'll be right back. Well, I guess I can keep talking to you guys while I do that. Let's see, what was it? I broke a bottle in here last night. I bet you that's what it was. Glass fragments. I need to vacuum in my shop or my garage, but I don't have a shop vac, and so trying to vacuum with like a regular person's vacuum probably isn't the best way to do that. Ooh, it's chilly in here. I didn't think I'd ever get to a point in the summer where I'm turning my AC off. I keep it really cold in the house because when it actually gets hot out, the house AC has a hard time keeping up. And so what I'll do is I'll keep it cooler so that it takes it longer to heat up. With any luck, it won't heat up at all. But it was like 90 something yesterday, and I got in the house and it was just blistering hot, and that was not ideal. So we'll see if today is any cooler. But it's the start of a new month, and I am paying all my bills and spending all my money, and it feels good to do so. It's not like I'm just like, gross bills. Like, obviously I'd rather not have to pay my bills, but the cost of living is the cost of living, and the cost of living in the world the way in which I do is not so bad. And a lot of it is perspective. People let things get super bothersome. And you just really have to not let the world control your outlook in that way. Like, you can control what you can control, and keep what you can control under control. And don't do all this silly stuff and get yourself all wrapped up and upset over things that you have no control over. And that is, I think, a big lesson that a lot of people can afford to learn is not allowing the uncontrollable to control you. So many people get so focused on controlling things or just focused in general on things that they can't control. And it just becomes a cesspool of them trying to do things that can't be done, or they're not doing the things that they should be doing, all because they're so hyper-focused on these things that don't even make sense to really be hyper-focused on. So hope here is to spread a message of just kind of stay in your lane. Like, do your thing and accept the things that you can't control and move on. And so many people want to try and read more into life and into the things around them, and it's like, you've really just gotta do you and hope that whatever you're wanting out of this life comes as a result of you doing you. And I'm not 100% sure or certain that things will pan out the way that I want them to, but I am at least fairly satisfied with where I am. And I've said it before, but I've noticed myself maturing mentally And like I haven't even hit 30 yet, but I can feel the shift of maturity in my mind, and that has been interesting for me to experience and to understand. And really just trying to comprehend what that means and embrace what it is. This weekend, the big exciting thing that I have going on is the fact that I'm going to be making a brisket. I haven't made one in ages, and well, no, not in ages. I've never made one. I've never made a brisket before, and it was kind of twofold. I was talking to a bunch of buddies of mine. We get together and we smoke some meats and play some video games every now and again. And he wanted to get together and smoke a brisket. He was like, depending on how long it takes, of course. I was like, I have no idea how long it's going to take. But ultimately, we decided to go with ribs again. And then I've been shamefully watching Young Sheldon. And on that show, there's an episode that is completely dedicated to the brisket, this famous brisket recipe. And that kind of got me going as well, as I was like, okay, this is the second time in recent history that I've seen a reference to a brisket. And the brisket in the episode of Young Sheldon looked delicious. They were really hyping it up like it was this delicious thing. And I was like, dadgummit, I need to figure out how to make a brisket. Well, the first kind of hurdle that I needed to jump was like, what even is a brisket? Like, you go to the store, and it's not like they have brisket just hanging out in the meat counter or anything. And so I have recently started going to a new grocery store. I have nothing against the old grocery store I would go to, but I think it's nice to switch it up every now and again. And so I'm in a switching it up kind of stage. And so I've been going to this new grocery store, and I went to their meat counter, and I asked if they had brisket, beef brisket. And the person that I was talking to was kind of naive, I guess. And he had no idea what I was talking about. And then he got the other person, and they're like, yeah, I think you have to get that cut special by the butcher, and the butcher's not here today, so you're going to have to come back later or whatever. So that was all yesterday. Today is the day that hopefully the butcher will be in and will be able to butcher me a beef brisket. And if not, then I'll have to go to a different grocery store, probably the grocery store that I usually go to, and see if they can get me one. But that will be the exciting thing for me this this coming weekend, is making my first ever brisket. And I hope that it turns out really nice and tasty and tender and juicy and yummy. I think the popular way to make a brisket is to smoke it, but I am going to do oven roasted because I don't have a smoker. And so we'll see how it goes. The recipe that they started to share on Young Sheldon isn't the entire recipe, obviously. And so they give you enough to like work with, and then I'm going to modify it some to try and get what I want out of it. And then I'm gonna make that sucker up and see how it turns out. And with any luck, it'll be nice and tasty and all of those good things. And I'll eat on it for a while because it'll be 3 pounds of meat that I have bought. And it's not going to be cheap, so if it doesn't turn out, I'll be quite disappointed. But it's kind of, people talk about cooking and the art of cooking and all that, and it definitely is an art, but to some degree, like, if you just put a bunch of stuff together that you know you like, then the odds of you enjoying what you cook is a lot better than if you just kind of put a bunch of stuff together and you don't normally like it and see how it goes. And that's essentially what this is they've just got a whole crap load of seasonings that I'm going to put on this thing, and then follow the cooking instructions that I found online, which was to not baste it, but like rub it down with the dry rub, and then let it sit in its dry rub for at least 12 hours. And then from there, sit it out and let it get down to room temperature. And then once it's down to room temperature, I'm going to transfer it to an alternate source of foil that has a small bed of Corona beer, and then so it'll be like a beer and dry rub flavored brisket. And then from there, put that sucker in the oven. And they say to cook it for an hour and 15 minutes per pound. So for 3 pounds, that would be 3 hours and 45 minutes. And then they say after you do that, you take it out, you unwrap it, and you cook it for an additional 45 minutes unwrapped. And then it should be ready to serve. I want to do some sort of hearty potato with it. Not really sure what, but I'll figure that out. And then after the potatoes, I should get like some sort of vegetable to go with it too. So I'm going to have a full meal. I've got a hearty, I should do broccoli. I bought broccoli forever ago with the intentions of cooking it, and I never did. And so maybe I'll steam some broccoli. Well, and that's the other thing, is I bought a steaming basket, but I don't actually, it doesn't fit on my pot, so I can't actually steam anything. So I'll have to figure out how I'm going to cook the broccoli. But I think broccoli is what I've decided I'm going to do. So, at any rate, I think that the dish it'll be a full hearty meal. I'll make it up Friday night so that it can sit in the fridge all night Friday, and then I'll go and get my hair cut on Saturday, and then I'll work the brisket the rest of the day Saturday, and then be ready to eat it when it's ready and done. And so that is the extent of my weekend plans, and it is just very interesting to be an adult and accept my adulthood, because these sorts of things are the things I plan for myself on weekends. Make a big old brisket. Are you gonna get over? Because I'm not in the mood to scoot over for you. I need to stay in this lane in order to turn. And so, yeah. Anyway, I think that that'll be fun. I intend to make a video, the brisket video. It'll be a little bit more of a edited video than what you all are used to on this channel. And it's funny, I joined this Discord group and they talk about like what their niches are and all of that, and like that is step one of being successful on YouTube, is like, what is your niche, so to speak. And I really didn't have a very clear niche, nor do I have one at all. And like, I dream of the idea of being this just anti-creator on YouTube who just does not follow the YouTube rules and gets somehow famous for it. I know that's unlikely, and people shouldn't bank on being the exception to the rule, but I'm at this point just popping stuff out and having fun, feeling my way around and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. I'm hoping that with, in terms of YouTube, with the next kind of wave of videos that I have, that I'll be able to crank out something that gets a little bit better attention. A lot of advice people say is they're like, don't give up on YouTube till you've pushed out your first 100 videos. And like, in all honesty, I've cranked out well over 100 videos at this point, but they're incredibly low effort, low content videos. It's really just me spilling my thoughts on you guys. And I've said it before, and it's funny, one of the people in that video, in this little Discord group, said the same thing, but they're like, unless people know who you are, or you give them a reason to care about what you have to say, they're not going to watch them. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I issued myself a challenge of 365 videos in the year of 2024, and I'm going to stick to it. When the months kind of started out, I really had this idea, this dream, that I was going to gain some sort of substantial following as these videos picked up steam, but quite the opposite has happened. I've stagnated. In fact, like, I don't even know, the last good video I had was a while ago. It was probably around WrestleMania, when no, it wasn't even around WrestleMania. There was a whole big stink with CM Punk, and I made a commentary on that one morning, and that got almost 1,000 views. And it's interesting because I'm on this NewTubers Reddit feed, where a bunch of these YouTubers are getting together and trying to get known and all of these things. And it's fun to interact with these other people and to see these other people out there doing their thing with significantly less of a following than what I have. And I don't even have that much of a following. Like, I have, I think, 400 subscribers, but I don't get 400 views a video. I'm lucky to get one, honestly. And the retention is incredibly low. And, like, I'm not surprised by it. It's not like I'm doing all this work and I'm like, golly, why is nobody watching this? I'm putting a lot of work into this. It's just, I'm not putting a lot of work into it. I'm just driving to and from work and pushing out content. And so we'll see what next year holds. I think next year I'll try and dial it back, because the other thing is, you don't want, like, if I start cranking out quality videos, I don't want my quality videos to be overshadowed by the fluff that I'm throwing out there. And I don't want people to be like, this guy just films a bunch of fluff, like I just happened upon his one good video. So I'll probably do like a mad cleanup job in New Year's, and then try and maintain a new upload schedule from there. And I already have a good visual on the style of video that I want to make, and I'll just make that, and that'll be what I do. But I'm just thrilled beyond belief to keep doing it. I might still record these just as something to have in my back pocket in case I am missing days, because like, that's, consistency is key, and it's hard for a small YouTuber who's just an individual to upload consistently. There's so many federations, corporations, and groups of people on YouTube now who are able to upload every day, for that matter. And to be able to maintain something like that as an individual is maddening. And this has been a good exercise in that. I get to see what it's like to try and maintain that kind of schedule. And I have sacrificed quality almost entirely in an effort to acquire quantity. And everybody always harps the advice is like, you want quality over quantity. And at the end of the day, yes, you do want that. But I watched a video that someone put together, and they said that quality or quantity equates to quality. Like, you don't know how to make a quality video until you've made a high quantity of low quality videos. And so there is that to be said as well. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you weren't bored to death as I told you about my weekend brisket plans. If you weren't bored to death, then you should stay tuned, because I'm sure there will be a brisket video coming down the pipeline.